Hi, Brenton here from Effortless Swimming. It's been a while since I've done a Feedback Friday video. I like to try and do them every week, but the last few weekends we've had a lot of clinics. We've been in Perth, we've been in Melbourne, Adelaide, Sydney. So I've been pretty flat out running the clinics and also the online coaching. We've had a lot of new members joining. So I've been pretty busy doing analysis there because that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. YouTube's something that I sort of like to do for enjoyment, and I like to share some of the things that I've found to be really helpful when it comes to improving your swimming. But I'm going to try and get back on the weekly bandwagon, and we're starting that with today's video. So today's video is of someone who joined our membership about 6 weeks ago. His name is Sergey, and in the space of 4 to 5 weeks, he had a significant improvement, not only in his technique, but also in his time. So he's come down from around a 150 pace with a wetsuit on, down to around 140 pace for 800 meters with a wetsuit on. And you'll see in this next video some of the changes that's helped him get there. And I want to point out, it's not standard to improve 10 seconds per 100 in the space of 4 to 5 weeks. Most people will take sometimes 2, 3, 6 months. It can take a lot longer to do that, but you'll see how he's able to make those changes. So let's have a look at that video. This is from Sergey, who joined the membership about 6 weeks ago.
Now this is the before video. So this is the very first video that Sergey sent. And from here, I sort of noticed a couple of things. So the first one was, you can see on the entry how the fingertips are really coming up to the surface quite a bit, and he's letting his hand or his wrist sort of go a little bit loose. So the fingers were coming up, putting the brakes on a bit, and you can see this dropped elbow position that he was coming to. So this was the first thing that stood out on both arms. So if we come back and just look at the right one as well, you notice that position there, when he's extending forwards, just putting the brakes on a bit. So that adds up to a bit of extra drag. It's going to slow him down, and again, it's a minor physical change compared to that where we want to be, but it really does add up. So at clinics, in our online coaching membership, there's quite a bit of focus on these little things that really do add up to make a big difference in the stroke. So that was the thing that first stood out to me. So what we worked on there was really some alignment and starting catch position drills. So what we were able to do was really make a big difference with how efficient he was in the water in terms of minimizing drag. So I'll show you the after shot in a moment. The second thing you'll see here with his catch is that he was just dropping the elbow somewhat. So from here down to there, you can see that catch position where really this elbow is pulling through quite soon. The elbow was dropping, and you can see how the forearm, the hand's pressing down on the water quite a bit. So just really wasn't setting himself up that well early on with the catch position. And a lot of that can often start from just the starting catch position. So if you set yourself up there where you're putting the brakes on, the fingers are up, it can be a lot harder to then transition into a good catch. And we sort of saw this a bit with Sergey. So again, just in a slightly dropped elbow position. And the way that we sort of define that is if we draw a straight line from the shoulder to the hand, all right, the elbow is sitting below that straight line. So that was the initial video or one of the initial videos that I got sent from Sergey. So we looked at improving the starting catch position, getting the fingers below the wrist below the elbow, also working on the catch as well. That's what we wanted to really focus on there. So let's take a look at the after video. Now you can see here, okay, this is the after video. You can just see how much smoother the stroke looks. And it's not necessarily that smoother is always better, but you can just see that there's much less drag that he's creating there. So he's starting himself in a much better position. So you can see here, right about there, great line all the way through the body. So fingers below wrist, maybe just below the elbow, but that overall line through the body, much more efficient. And he's creating a lot less drag through there. Left hand enters really nicely, extends forwards here as well. And again, he's just not letting those fingertips come up like he was before. So just setting himself up so much better. But probably one of the more noticeable things was the improvement in the catch. So this certainly isn't standard. This can take quite a while for a lot of people. But through the catch phase, on a lot of the strokes, he was able to really just initiate the catch a lot better. So you can see here on this stroke that he's in a high elbow catch position. So if we draw that straight line from the shoulder to the hand, the elbow is sitting above it. So that's a much better setup of the catch. And that small change is, I think, where a lot of the improvement came from, combined with that better starting catch position. So really good on that stroke. Doesn't get it every stroke, and that's normal. When you're making changes to your stroke, you're going to get it right sometimes, and then not so much the other times. And you can see there, it's still a little bit dropped on this right arm, and this is one of the things we're working on now, but it's a better position than what it was. So I normally look for incremental improvements in the catch. Very hard to make a really significant change straight away. It often takes time, but you can see particularly on this left side, that's where he's really made a big difference. And when he sent these videos in, one of the things he said was, my times are 10 to 15 seconds quicker per 100, but I can't actually see the difference in my stroke here. And that's what my job is. That's what my role is as a coach when people join the membership and work with me. It's my job to spot these small differences and then put together a bit of a plan to work on and in terms of what to work on next. So really significant change there in the space of really it was just a couple of weeks where he was able to knock off 10 to 15 seconds per 100 in his swim times just by working on his technique, not by training anymore. So look, you still got to be doing at least 3 sessions a week. That's my rule of thumb. You can get away with 2, but ideally 3 or more. So he was doing the work. He was already fit. He was training well for triathlon. And the biggest thing was just technique that was holding him back, and was able to make really good changes in a very short space of time. And often it takes longer than that. I don't expect to see that much of a change so quickly, but everyone's different. And Sergey did a terrific job. So now we're just really focused on continuing to improve the catch, particularly with the right arm. That's where I think there's the biggest opportunity. And then we'll sort of work on a bit of strength work and just continue to improve the race skills as well, particularly open water swimming, getting the drafting happening, and also just the ability to sort of pace the race in a way where he's able to finish strongly, save energy for the bike and the run, and just get more out of his open water racing stroke. So terrific job, and it was great to see such a quick change in such a short space of time. So there you have it. There's some of the changes that Sergey was able to make with his stroke that helped him take 10 seconds off per 100. If you'd like to check out the membership, then click the link below. That's where I coach swimmers online or from all around the world. As long as you can record yourself swimming, either with a phone or with a GoPro, send that to me. That's how I will help you improve your technique. And we don't just look at technique, we also have workouts there, strength, conditioning, mobility, a lot of different things as well, not just technique. But that's where most people primarily make the biggest improvement is with their stroke. So if you've got access to a phone or a GoPro and you can record yourself swimming, then check out the Effortless Swimming membership. There's a link below, and might see you in there.